What's up, I'm Kelly Hart, and here are a few of my favorite styles in skateboarding.
Check it out, give me my spec. Check it out, give me my spec. Check it.
My favorite video part and my favorite style probably to this day is Brian Wenning, and his part in photosynthesis is one of my favorites for sure. Just the way everything was just super like on point, and when he did his nose grinds and manuals, he didn't even move. And that was something I kind of just caught my eye, and no one else was really doing that, and the tricks he was doing were obviously ridiculous. He kind of had a cool like hunchback style that wasn't like too much, but it just looked fresh, and that's probably my favorite skater of all time. And then you got Gino Iannucci, who has like this style that no one could ever even replicate. It's just so fluid. And I think a lot of people say him probably, but he does crazy ass tricks. He goes fucking dumb fast, and when he does tricks, you're just like, how the fuck did he do that like that? Almost all of my favorite skaters and their styles are back then, because the way I just like the 90s style, like in the early 2000s style of dressing. Everyone just had baggy pants and were wearing like random polos and fucking, so yeah, Guy Mariano back then and Mouse, that was ridiculous. I was so young when that came out that like, it was one of the first videos I ever saw, and I remember watching that part. His first trick, he switched big flips over the bump, the Adams bump. And I just remembered him doing that, not knowing how gnarly that trick was, but just being like, well, that was a sick hat. That was tight. And I was just, like, I don't know, it was like shit like that. Like I always just like looked at people and what they dressed, and I always thought that was tight. Eric Costin in Mouse, he was just unreal. He had the Costin ones on. He was the one that got me looking at S as a kid. And like, wow, that's the fucking illest looking shoes I've ever seen. And the way he skated, that was the tightest thing, is he did like crazy kink trails and all these crazy table tricks, and he ends it on a switch flip front crook, and back then you were like, what the fuck, that was insane. But the way he did it, landed all in manual real quick, and he kind of rode out all sick. Sometimes it's the little imperfections that make it that much more, and not a lot of people have that. I say Anthony Van Engelen, the way that he skates is kind of timeless. It's just like, he's actually gone through a couple different periods of like wearing baggy, swishy pants, or like what he's wearing now, and I think he looks so dope like his whole career, and as a person, like the way that he does this trick, you'll want to watch that forever. It's just like technique and style, and switch trays are insane looking. Kenny Anderson, he's probably the smoothest skateboarder on a skateboard in my eyes, that does the crazy tricks. One thing about Kenny Anderson, one trick that I was so stoked on, he does a backflip down a rail, a kickflip down a set of stairs really quick. And those two things together, and then he pushes, little push, frontside 180 up, and then a switch front nose off the ledge off set of stairs. Like the way that that's executed, it was like, you're like, dude, he just rewound that over and over and over. And then he does a kickflip nose manual, and he curves around, and then nollie frontside flips out. And you're like, and it's so good. It's just everything about it makes you want to go skate. And that's what I think style really does. It kind of just makes you want to go skate. These are the guys I literally watched every day, and basically it's like me listening to music. I listen to these dudes every single day. They just made me like look at skateboarding a certain way. And so I kind of that's the way I grew up skating, and that's how I grew up, and that's how I am today, because I just watch those guys. But those are just a few of my favorite styles, and there are plenty more out there. And I hope you check them out too, because if you don't know about them, you should. They'll make you stoked on skating even more.